I've plugged the power in, ladies and gentlemen, so it's time to tick-tock, rock and roll. The clock is ticking. We're 30 minutes late, and it's not my fault. It's not my fault, ladies and gentlemen. So whatever you do, these other two guys, between them, are going to work out who's responsible for us being late. But I'm not pointing any fingers. As usual, I'm not pointing.
A big fat finger pointing the way I know, the way the person I know is to blame for the lateness.
I was sitting in the green room for 10 minutes waiting for you two.
Oh, okay. As usual, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to be here with you guys for the Sunday show. It's always a special time of the week for me personally, and I know that the co-hosts here especially love it. So the Sunday show's got a wrap-up to do on a great album. The Rock Professor's going to lead us through that again, followed by Brad, and I'm going to offer just, I've got the easy job. I'm just going to sit here and press some buttons, give some scores.
Really?
Yeah. I've got a couple of shout-outs I've got to do before I pass on.
Finger of power.
I'm doing the shout-out to Warren. As usual, if you guys are familiar with the show, Warren is a big part of our show. He's part of the production team. He's always offered some interesting, cheeky, informative comments in previous live streams. So we look forward to working with him soon. He's going to jump on and do something for us, send us some videos. I'm also going to do a shout out for the Brodown. Now the Brodown was formerly the midweek show, but Melson's renamed it, so it's the Brodown. So we're going to do the Brodown. Brad's going to talk about the Brodown this week. We haven't had a Brodown for a while, and I can confirm, ladies and gentlemen, that I've got all the way from the UK a wonderful T-shirt. It was actually bought for me. It was bought for me and sent to me. So sponsored.
Yes, sponsored.
I'm a sponsored co-host.
Sponsored content.
I didn't buy this for myself, ladies and gentlemen. It was actually bought for me. So
Could I say that is the only one currently in the world. There is no other one that has.
Does that guy look familiar?
Yeah, fantastic. Look at that. Cobra Kai. Well, I figured that I don't know whether you think this is a bit, but I figured that as it's Cobra Kai's thing, I've not asked him, so I thought I'd do one because that's not being cheeky. You know, if we used it anymore, I think we'd have to ask him first, at least, to
I'm sure if it's my mug on there, he doesn't mind. I'm sure.
No, but
go and take that ugly mug and do with it what you want.
I'm English. I'm polite. You know, I gotta ask people.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you. It was a wonderful surprise. The postie came into work through this parcel because we've got social distancing. I had a look. This is interesting. Like the old paper boys.
Yeah.
So I grabbed it, and so if you guys haven't already seen, there's a video on the channel here. Go back and have a look. Genuine surprise because I'm high pitched. I'm like that. So
it's the YouTube equivalent for Apple for teacher.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Appreciate it, brother.
It's fun. Glad you like it. I like the idea. It just turns up. I didn't tell you. It just turns up in the post, and you go, "Ooh, what's this?" That's pretty cool.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah. Feel very spoiled, and
Good.
Something's coming the Rock Professor's way because we know that the Rock Professor has been very generous But Brad and I are cooking up some little bits and pieces, so we've got something. So you guys have got us on record here on a Sunday show that we're doing something, but we can't tell you.
Yeah.
Talking on the road, have you sorted out whether I could buy a Brad Cook T-shirt or not and get it shipped to Europe?
Well, shh. That's what we're working. Shh.
No. That's not about me. This is in general. Because he's a bit mad that somebody you can't ship it to New Zealand or the UK, but I can't buy one.
So there's a problem with shipping, unfortunately, worldwide. So
is it temporary? Is it?
I'm hoping.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. It just seemed bizarre, I can't. What do you mean? I can't buy a T-shirt? I can buy a T-shirt from anywhere. It's like, why can't we just if it might take a bit of time, i.e., I can get a T-shirt and send it to Andrew. Can't be that difficult.
Right. No, but we are working on something.
That's fine.
Yeah, all good.
We don't want to confine your markets, do we? Blimey, that would be terrible.
Yeah. I think of the sales I've lost, mate. I'm so popular. All those T-shirts I've lost sales on. Far out.
Yeah.
Can't afford to cut off great swathes of the world from a marketing point of view. That's terrible.
Yeah, look, I'm a bit disappointed how it's all worked out, but it'll turn around. It's all
come
good.
out in the wash. Yeah.
It'll come out. Yeah, it'll come.
Yeah. When Brad gets it sorted, though, we'll put a link on the channel here, so you guys can support Brad that way as well. So obviously, big shout outs to our social media accounts there. If you guys are new to our channel, we are active on Instagram. So on the bottom there, during the course of the show, you'll see a whole heap of Instagram accounts. Follow them, and then you'll keep in touch with everything that's happening. I've done a lot of talking. I'm going to pass something on to Brad, and then the Rock Professor will do a shout out because everyone's in the chat talking. I can see that. I can see it all scrolling. Oh my gosh. So, Brad, what's up, brother?
Look, yesterday was a very special day. 51st anniversary of Jimi Hendrix's passing. So we just want to do a little bit of a shout out to Jimmy. We all know the importance of Jimi Hendrix. We don't need to, go on about that. For me especially, I probably wouldn't be playing guitar right now without Jimi Hendrix. So that's the truth be told. He was the live at Monterey. Jimi Hendrix live at Monterey. I was actually talking to Philip Sace this morning, and I was talking to him about.
Oh, look at that! Boom! Name drop.
Yeah, no bomb job. Yeah,
excellent. That's pretty cool.
But yeah, that made me think about it again when he asked me. And the very first time I saw Hendrix live at Monterey, it just made me want to play guitar. It just, and I've been trying to be as cool as him ever since, and I'm still haven't achieved it, but I'm trying.
Get in there.
But, so he, shouts out to Jimmy. I did a little tribute up on my Instagram for him, so jump over there and have a look.
Yeah, cool,
beautiful, wonderful tribute. Go and check it out.
But so we're big fans here, even though we're British Electric Blues. But there's a close connection with Hendrix and Jimi Hendrix and British Electric Blues anyway. So we see him under the same umbrella, don't we, guys?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Well, because he made it in the UK, we're claiming him, and all of his band were Brits as well. So, I think we claim him as an honorary Brit, and as you say, fits beautifully into that British Electric Blues show. Yeah.
Even much so that we might do a little bit of a bro down this week on just to celebrate his the 51st anniversary of his passing. And we'll probably be doing that Wednesday, Andrew. Is that right?
Yeah. Look, I think so. I'll look forward to it. I don't know at what time we're going to schedule that, guys. But if you hit that subscribe button, we'll jump on.
Subscribe and check out Instagrams as well. We'll let you know.
Yeah,
the stories on our Instagrams. We'll let you know. Actually, I want to thank everyone for joining in. I did a little bit of a question thing from on my Instagram stories just to see, who would sort of commit to asking questions, and a fair few people on the channel did. So thank you very much.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Keep doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm testing. That's my little test to see if you guys actually look. So yeah, but what's that? Is that a Ingve Milestone Strat in the background? No, mate. That's it's a 79 Fender Strat. So it's just a
no scalloping
79.
allowed.
No scallop fretboards. No, that's my, even though 79's not a Hendrix, that's my little Hendrix tribute, that one, because it's got the bigger headstock, the maple neck. It's, it's kind of like my version of the Woodstock guitar, and I've called it Isabella. Yeah, there you go. But, yeah. And, so thank you very much, guys. We'll hopefully see you guys on Wednesday for a little bit of a bro down on Jimmy. And we'll talk about the importance of Jimmy. And yes, and so today we're recapping on our George Harrison. All things must pass.
Shall I say? I'll say hello to the people in the chat before we get started.
I think that's probably more important at this stage. Yeah.
So we've got Arvin. Good morning, Arvin. Teresa.
Yeah.
Morning, Teresa. Jimmy Ray. Hawkins. Morning, Jimmy. Trying to stay awake. And Helen Winter. Morning, Helen. And Alan as well. Morning, Alan. Hope we're all good. Surviving and all just. Anybody else? Arvin says, did you get your Arvin Gaunt fan club t-shirts yet? Crappy Luxury. Morning, Crappy. How you doing? From all the way from Portland, Oregon. And Hobo Roadie as well. Morning, Hobo. Thanks for joining. Hope we can keep you awake for the next couple of hours, hour and a half. And shout out to Warren as well. Warren, if you're watching, mate, keep well. Hope you're all right.
Yep.
Awesome. We're streaming, guys, also too on obviously YouTube and on the All About the Blues Facebook group, and also on All Things Ericclapton too. So if you guys are members of that Facebook group, or if you're watching from there, say hi, please. That'll be really, really cool if you could. That will help with the channel algorithms.
Awesome. Yeah, so also I'd like to, just a little personal thing, I'd like to dedicate this show to my my friend who's no longer with us, Danny. So on this day, I think it was 11 years ago, he passed away. So Danny Asbeck, this one's for you, brother.
Cool.
Rest in peace, Danny.
Yeah. Very nice. Keep the remembrance going.
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, and we're thank you for joining us in the chat, and anyone who hasn't subscribed, if you're watching this back later, please subscribe. We've got some giveaways coming up. Andrew alluded to a couple of t-shirt giveaways and this and that, so we've got some good stuff coming up. So stick with us. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, please do. 100%.
707 subscribers, so thanks for getting us over the 700. Fantastic.
Thank you everyone who's subscribed, all you recent subscribers. We will be talking about how we're going to do the t-shirt giveaway. We've just got to do a bit of a round table in the green room before we actually work out how we're going to do it. But I think what we'll do, maybe similar to how we've done it in the past, Andrew, maybe, or Simon. I don't know if you guys are keen to do it that way, but we'll discuss it and we'll let you guys know. As soon as we're doing it. We'll announce it properly, and then you just got to follow the terms and conditions, and there'll be some t-shirts up for grabs.
T's and C's apply. Morning, Deja Voodoo. How you doing? Hope you're good. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so part 2 of All Things Must Pass
2.0.
Let's get in. So just a quick recap. Remember, it was released in November 1970 and recorded between May and October 1970. The basic tracks being done in EMI, and then a whole heap, months of overdubs by George Harrison, just keeping going at it and stuff. It's interesting to with as we remember, lots of musicians, the basis of Derek and the Dominos. Like Carl and Jim Gordon and Eric Clapton as well, under a slight pseudonym. I heard quite a nice story about this week about Clapton. George Harrison did concert for Bangladesh.
Yes.
With Clapton and Bob Dylan. Well, when he was setting it up, clearly it's like the first charity gig ever done. He's setting up, and he's Eric is in the grips of his heroin addiction at the time, so trying to get him was somewhat tricky. So Harrison kept getting messages from Clapton saying, "Oh, Clapton's teething. He's too sick to come." So eventually. They get a substitute, Jesse Edwin Davis from Taj Mahal's band, to play. I don't know if you come across him. But, if you haven't, check him out. Taj Mahal, man, his first records are fantastic blues records. But Jesse Edwin as a sub, right? So they got. So as soon as Clapton hears, they sent Clapton a message saying, "Don't worry, we've got a sub." Next day, Clapton appears. Only slightly competitive. Just saying. He turned up. Okay, I'm ready. Like that sort of nice competitive edge to him. As soon as there's somebody else in the frame, I'm going to come. Lovely. So anyway, that's just a little aside. I just said that this week.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Even the grips of one's heroin addiction, the competitive edge is still there to elbow Jesse Edwin Davis out of the way. Hey, that's my spot. Clear off. That's nice, isn't it? It's nice. So anyway, my sort of story. So as we said, of course, Ken Scott and Harrison worked for months on the overdubs, backing vocals, lead guitar parts, slowing the tapes down to allow Harrison to sing the high register vocal lines, all sorts of things I've discovered this week. And before finally releasing it. So
I actually sorry to cut you off, Simon, but I've actually picked up on a bit of those vocal lines now in the songs. I've actually picked up where they are. Yeah, it's quite, if you now that you know it, you listen out for it, you pick it. It's like, wow, that's what they've done.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? It's but clearly, as we said before, the basic technology, they're doing it on 8-track tape recording. It's not 24-track. It's not even that. So you're making decisions as you go along about bouncing things down and can record the drums over 4 or 6, bounce them down to 1. And there they are with and especially that. I mean, the interesting part of me was discovering that, of course, when you're remixing things, that if you've got tracks that are bounced down with the effects on them, which is how it worked in those days,
that's
not post. Well, you can't take it off then, can you? Phil Spector's reverb, turn reverb up to 11. We can't then take it off, which is interesting. It just has to be there. You can re-EQ it, but what you've got is what you've got. Yeah. So that thing of we'll despectorize it. It doesn't really work in this context because of those things. I also love, as I've said before a lot on here, that the bassist is recorded live, the band in a studio playing live, which gives it, I think, those things a unique vibe. And then you go, and you use that bassist and you then overdub what you want to do on it. But you have to do them all live, all that singing, all those harmonies. I know I keep saying it, Mr. Stuck record, but it's not kind of cut and paste, copy the vocal line. It's go and sing it again, go and sing the harmony again. Make sure it's right, make sure it fits and it sounds good. And I think it's that it's impressive the amount of work and the amount of vision you have to produce these things. I think is much in a sense. I'm not complaining about the technology. It's just different. It's makes your life easier. I'm all for making life easier. But, you had to have that vision. You had to have the drive to want to do those things. In a way that possibly you don't know.
I think with a lot of the overdubs that George did were really phenomenal. I mean, his vocals in some of the songs, which we'll get to in the rankings, with his backing vocals and how he backing vocals and doubles things, and the way he was doing it was very Beatle-like. But he's doing it on his own. So he did some amazing BVs on this record, and this kind of became like his signature sound for everything he ever did, I think. Like, you know, his vocals, his slide guitar. So this album was so pivotal in his career as a solo artist.
But there's one of the two tracks you can hear definitely Traveling Wilbury stuff, you know, echoes in there. Yes, you're absolutely right. That carry through with the, you know, what he did and what he learnt and what he, you know, what he produced. Yeah, absolutely informed his sound going forward for all his other stuff. But, it's amazing, really, that what he did. But fantastic, yeah. So. If we start off on that side, in old money, side 3.
In old money, yeah.
In old money, side 3. No, I'm old money. See. So we have "Beware of the Darkness." Beware of darkness. So I should say. So it's one of the more recent songs included on All Things Must Pass, writing wise. He introduced you to Phil Spector as the last one I wrote the other day, just knocking off. So the song lyrics reflect the influence of the Radha Krishna temple, whose philosophy holds that spiritual concerns override all material matters. Since meeting the Radha Krishna devotees in December '68, Harrison has produced their devotional music for Apple Records, including their '69 single Hare Krishna Mantra, and assisted in securing the property in central London as their temple. So he told the devotees that his '69 composition "Something" was a love song to the Hindu deity Krishna rather than his wife Patty Boyd. Maybe being a little pinning opportunist, I think is the phrase, isn't it? So in the spring of '70, Harrison invited some of the movement's members to stay at Friar Park, his recently purchased estate in Oxfordshire, to help him restore the large house and overgrown gardens, and to give his new home an intensely spiritual atmosphere. In his 1980 autobiography, he says he wrote "Beware of Darkness" at this time. He adds, "I had some of my friends from the Radha Krishna temple staying. Watch out for Maya." The lyrics are self-explanatory. According to Bobby Whitlock, the song was partly informed by Harrison's difficulties with his former Beatles bandmates and their business manager Alan Klein in the period immediately after the band's breakup. Whitlock, who stayed at Friar Park, cites this as one of several preoccupations that made up a day in the life of George Harrison, along with the stresses of restoring the property as well. So the song's lyrics encourage the listener to seek daylight and abundant growth in the manner of an Atlas cedar. In this song, Harrison warns against falling victim to the negativity that surrounds us. Having been through the breakup in the Beatles, he experienced intense pressure and many unpleasant byproducts that come with the rock star lifestyle. So, and there's clearly a political edge as well when he sings "Beware of greedy leaders, they take you where you should not go." So, you know, looking back to that spirituality as a means of escaping the darkness, which, as we've said, is very much a theme of this record, isn't it? The spirituality is very much, you know, I was you bold enough last week to mention the C word. That's oh, I'm gonna forget the C word, isn't it?
Say the C word. C word.
No. Oh, you know, well, down with a theme in it. Oh, come on, it's gone. Too much thinking, not enough thinking. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
You mean a concept album?
Concept album. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
The C word, concept. Yes.
I was thinking of a rude word that started with C.
No.
Yes. I was thinking you're going to turn into a potty mouth like Andrew.
No. What? Me? Mr. Potty Mouth, where is he?
Being very quiet, so I think he's containing himself from being a potty mouth.
We've got him bound and gagged in the corner. Oh, dear. So yeah, so it's it's recording it, and it's got some orchestral arrangements as well. John Barham did some orchestral arrangements. So intro is very much acoustic bass, acoustic guitar, bass, drums, and piano. The verse has, as I said, the Barnum strings on it. Lovely melody. I mean, the one thing that strikes me is what great melodies he wrote, and and in keeping with that Beatles thing, quite complex things, and quite, and Brad, as you said, there is all that Beatles element in there, isn't there, of them in a lot of the songs, in terms of the way they're structured, what he does, and things. You can definitely breathe, or feel that influence of the Beatles and working with George Martin and that idea stuff going on. So it's
100%.
It's it's, as we said, a very spiritual song, really, and with some politics thrown in. But I think that's the spirituality thing, isn't it? The greedy leaves thing is about the earthly concerns as much as juxtaposing with the spiritual stuff. So and a really nice slow slide guitar solo as well. Morning, Sonia. Hope you're good. And 9 out of 10, never a skip from me. Lovely opening to side 3.
Oh, for me, Beware of Darkness, it's one of those songs that, I would always listen to, and I'd get intrigued. It would pull me in more and more the more I listened to it. It actually became one of my favorites on the record from memory. When I first started getting into this record, I started always gravitating to Beware of Darkness. So I love those lush guitars at the start. That Leslie effect on the guitar again. It's infectious to me, that sort of swirly sort of sound. I love it. It's infectious. The beautiful vocal melodies, like you said, George was obviously held back a lot in the Beatles, and he knew how to write good melody. And I'm a guy that's all about songs more so than a guitar solo in a song. So when I hear a song that's well written with a great vocal melody, that's the song for me. And he writes beautiful melodies, and this is no exception. He's really done amazing, and I'm going to highlight his double track vocals in this. The way he does it, he gives like a spooky element. If you haven't actually focused on his vocals a lot in this song, go and have a listen, because you can hear him doing a dual vocal in the verses, and at the end of things he'll do a dual vocal where it goes higher and back. And his background vocals are great. He's really stepped up on this record, and you can understand why he loved this record so much. There's some nice melodic sort of lead playing from Ericclapton on this one, and there's some lovely slide playing from George. There's a lot of color in the song. Ringo, I believe, is playing drums on this one, adds a really nice feel to the song. And I said this last week, the songs that Ringo actually plays on, he gives them a little bit more of a Beatle feel as well. Just naturally, that's his style. So great musicianship on the entire song. I have to give it a 10 out of 10. I think it's a great song, and definitely never a skip. Andrew?
I'm just trying to get some stuff working here in the background, guys. So I am watching and paying attention to the chat and what you guys are saying. So, look, I love the song too. I think it's Simon said it all as far as the philosophy and the religious aspect of this song, and indeed the whole album. There's a lot of golden nuggets on here that reflect an important part of who George Harrison is. And I think this is one of the reasons why, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself from last week, I think this is one of the reasons why we love George Harrison so much, because he is everything. On one side, he's this materialist, spending all the money that he's made as a Beatle, which is a great thing, and then he's doing this inward search, this discovery of something outside of himself, and this song nails it for me. And it's so important. It was so important to other people that Clapton did this on the Harrison tribute too.
Lovely.
that they did back 20 odd years ago. So even Clapton knew the significance of this song for George. So because of that, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 too. Great side opener, Simon. Good side opener. Good solid side opener.
Yeah.
One of the things that interests me, as we, that I don't find the spirituality thing in the least bit off-putting.
No.
Sometimes it's I'll
Good
slightly,
point.
It goes, for instance, the Bob Dylan, the three Christian albums that Bob Dylan made, in Slow Train Coming, Saved, and anyway, the third one. But those, are quite. You could be quite put off by the lyrics. They're quite harsh and quite sort of, there's only one way to do this. Whereas this doesn't put me off at all. Interestingly, that spiritual kind of journey thing, and what he describes is much more kind of alluring and much more interesting, I think, than just the sort of fire and brimstone, Bob Dylan's fire and brimstone stuff.
Look,
I think it's a tribute to it.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you raised that point, Simon, because I feel the same way. Because I think sometimes it can be very off-putting if it's too done, in a very. Let's just leave it at that. I just think it's better, and it's not in your face. It's very delicate the way he's touched the topics, and he's done it really marvelously.
Yeah, with a delicate touch, and it's not preachy and not kind of, it's just saying this is where I am, this is my journey, and I think that's interesting. I think it's it's interesting that he's able to do, absolutely, that he is able to do that, and yet make it a significant spiritual album, but it doesn't get in the way of my whether that's your thing or not, is that it doesn't get in the way of my enjoyment of it. I think it's fantastic that he's able to do that. So just like make that point.
No, very good point.
Good morning, Johnny Heartbreaker. How you doing? Hope you're good.
Hi, Johnny.
So track 2 is Apple Scruffs. Apple Scruffs was coined by George Harrison in the late 60s for the devoted fans who waited outside the Beatles' Apple Corps headquarters and the recording studios where they worked. Although well known for his aversion to fan worship, particularly the Beatlemania phenomenon, Harrison formed a bond with some of the Scruffs, asking them after their families and commenting when they had their hair done. He acknowledged in an April '69 interview with Disc and Music Echo magazine, remember that, their part in the play is equally as important as ours. His song Apple Scruffs was written as a tribute to these fans. So since late May 1970, he kept a vigil outside various studios he was recording, where he was recording All Things Must Pass. Yeah. Although he makes no mention of the song in his autobiography, Derek Taylor, in his role as the book's editor, described the Apple Scruffs as the central core of fans after Beatlemania have subsided, adding, "We're all very fond of them."
Yeah.
According to Taylor, who was the Beatles officer at Apple, Harrison wrote Apple Scruffs because the Scruffs had witnessed occasions when he was going through some bad times, and he came to hold them in great affection, which is really nice, I think. It's, since forming the alliance in '68, the Scruffs had imposed a membership hierarchy and published a monthly magazine. They were highly protective of the Beatles and shielded them from displays of intrusive fan worship. In his lyrics to the song, Harrison acknowledges the Scruffs' dedication and expresses thanks for their perseverance through bad weather and through pleasures and the pain. He encourages the Scruffs to ignore the judgments of passers-by who cannot comprehend their devotion. This is very nice. It's, again, this is co-produced by actually not just departing from Phil Spector's Wall of Sound. It's quite a simple song. And just backing vocals credited to the George O'Hara Smith Singers and a couple of slide guitar tracks. So it reminded me this. It's that kind of very simple kind of, by the way, could I say, fantastically recorded acoustic guitar. Doesn't it sound great? It does on my version. My 2001 sounds fantastic. That, that's about sticking a microphone in front of it, where somewhere, and kind of recording it. Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I love the recording. I think every time I listen to it, it reminds me of Lindisfarne. I don't know if you're familiar with Lindisfarne.
Yeah.
They're a group they had a couple of hits. They had a song called "Meet Me on the Corner," which has very much that kind of acoustic guitar sound. Lindisfarne is later than this, but you join things in your mind, and I sort of it has that kind of vibe to it, kind of slightly English folky vibe in a way that I was reminded of Lindisfarne. So really nice. Again, great, as you've said, Brad. Great backing vocals. I think the backing vocal lines are really cool, and I love the melody. I think the melody in the song is really good. Just really simple, sort of strummed song. And, nice slide guitar solo at the end. 2 guitars. I don't know whether that's both. I don't know whether they're both Harrison or whether one of them's Clapton or one of them's Harrison. It's quite difficult to tell. They're both Harrison. Yeah. It's quite difficult to tell, isn't it? Sometimes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm 95 to 98% sure it's both Harrison.
Yeah. So a 9 out of 10 for me. Never a skip. Great. I really like it. I really like that sound. It's just for me.
Yeah. I mean, this song in particular used to get a skip from me. I'll be really honest. I used to skip it when back in the day when I first got into this album, but obviously it grew on me. I feel like there's a bit of a Dylan vibe going on with this song. There's definitely like a Dylan-esque sort of thing going on. The harmonica is definitely a nod to Bob Dylan, in my opinion. Some interesting vocals, and I noted here this is one of the songs I think George slowed the tape down or whatever it was to get his vocal up higher. So when they sped the tape up, it actually obviously gets in pitch. But because he didn't have quite a high voice, but to get some of those higher harmonies, I think that's how they did it. So it's definitely all George singing on this one. And I'll put here the slide guitar. This is something that became pretty common for Harrison throughout his solo career. He'd double his slide guitar solos, so they got a like orchestrated sort of sound, very unique. Not a lot of players actually do it, and Harrison did it so well. The BVs in it actually sound very Beatles to me. It's look, I gave the song a 7.5 out of 10. I was going to give it an 8, but I sort of way of ranked some of these other ones. I had to change it to 7.5. So, but no, I never skip it now. I never skip it. It's never a skip. And it's a cool little ditty. It's a cool little song. I think personally, it's a little nod to Dylan myself. Andrew?
Yeah, look, I agree with you guys. I think it's Dylan-esque too. So if you just give me a second, guys, I think this photo here might be, is this going to come up? No, hold on, guys. I've just had some technical issues in the background. So that's a pic of George around the same era. But I suspect, I'll get rid of that comment. It's very hard to find some gear on what Harrison might be playing. So I've got, what's that guitar? No, I can't find what that guitar is. Is it a Martin? Because I know that he was playing a Dove, but the Dove apparently came after. So, don't know, guys.
Not familiar with what acoustics he used, to be honest with you, Andrew.
Yeah, it's very, very. So very hard to get. Very hard, guys, to get some information. And if you just bear with me, please, gentlemen. So these are some guitars that he's famous for. Obviously, the Les Paul Lucy and Rocky, which is the Stratocaster. I suspect the Strat is Rocky on this album, guys, isn't it? It's got to be.
Yep.
And there he is playing Rocky with Delaney and Bonnie. So he didn't have a shitload of Strats around that time, so it's pretty clear, I think, that it's Rocky. Don't you guys think?
Yeah. I'm going to believe it is. I want to believe it is too.
Awesome.
I've seen it. Yeah.
and there's the Telecaster too. I'll see if I can get an. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Bear with me. Technical Sam. Hold on, guys. I think we found it. Okay, so that guitar that we showed was a Gibson J200. So Harrison bought that in the States back in '68. The Les Paul that we showed is a 57 Les Paul. The Lucy and the Stratocaster is a 61 Strat, Simon and Brad. And also there's some conversation too that he was using that Fender Rosewood Telecaster that was famous on the rooftop concert. So,
okay. Hey, is it true that the Les Paul was refinished, Andrew? The into that wine red color?
Okay, so let me just read to you guys in what I've got here. So Harrison's Les Paul began life as a gold top and was briefly owned by John Sebastian from the Loving Spoonful. He traded with McCoy's guitarist Rick Derringer in exchange for an amp. Derringer described the Les Paul as very, very used guitar, even when I got it, and took it to Gibson to get refinished in the same red used at the time for the SGs. Unhappy with the guitar's performance and feel after its refinishing, he sold it to Dan Armstrong. And a few days later, Clapton purchased it, and we know what Clapton did. He gave it to George in '68 and used it on Let It Be and Abbey Road, which is one of our favourite Beatles albums, isn't it, Simon and Brad? And apparently it got stolen in '73 in Beverly Hills, but negotiated with the Les Paul buyer, whoever stole it or something, to keep it or something until his death or whatever. So yeah, bit of myth. Sorry guys for not having this technical stuff up here. We'll get. We'll get there. Apple Scruffs. I liked the song when I found out what the song was about. I used to always skip it. I'm going to agree with Brad. It's got some Dylan-esque stuff there. But I listened to the album. I listened to, the song in the context of the album. So I just, again, I think these English guys, I'm going to keep saying it, Simon, they've got a love, obviously, for blues, but they can't escape trying to be, hillbilly. They can't, they want to be better hillbillies than the hillbillies, and and it's sort of, it comes through. It's not a good Harrison song, in my opinion. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. But it fits in the context of the album and it tells a story, because, as Simon said, the Scruffs. What are they called now? Groupies? Do they still have groupies?
I don't know. Let's ask Brad about
that. Is there any such thing as bands anymore? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You've got to have bands before you can groupies, yeah?
Well, no, I think you're right. Just Andrew, I was going to make that point about in the context of the records. You've got to have some, you've got to have some ebb and flow, and you've got to have something that's a bit lighter and a bit of a different. Can't have just every single song is heavy, because that's And I think for me, as I say, I like the sound of it, which is why I gave it the score I did. And I think it provides a contrast from the Spectre stuff as well, the sort of wild, crazy Spectre stuff.
Yeah, it's all TikTok, baby. It's all TikTok now.
It's all TikTok.
That's it. So you telling me I've got to get on TikTok and start doing dance moves?
Yeah,
apparently.
Yeah, you have. Andrew and I are exempt.
Why are you guys exempt? You're trying to tell me I'm going to take one for the team?
Yeah, well, you see, to further your musical career, you need to be on TikTok doing 15-second dance moves.
I have enough problem
to your own songs.
I have enough problem with 2 social medias, mate.
I know, yeah. The social medias. We mustn't know.
Cool music.
Right. We try and harass you onto TikTok. That's mean.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, stay on Instagram. It's much better.
Oh, I have enough trouble managing that. You know.
Yeah, I have enough trouble understanding it. You will have
You're doing all
noticed.
right.
I'm fucking
You're doing
hopeless
all right.
at it. It makes me laugh that I spent 30 bloody years in IT. I'm rubbish at it. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's. I think we've got to. Good morning, Cool Music Tech. How you doing? Hope we're good. Fellow UKian, if that's a word. But, anyway, so track 3, The Ballad of Sir Frankie Crisp. I don't know. The Ballad of Sir Frankie Crisp is written as a tribute to Frank Crisp, the 19th century lawyer and original owner of Friar Park, the Victorian Gothic residency that Harrison purchased in 1970. Yeah, so sort of basically he was something of an eccentric one, which which Harrison kind of describes in the song. But yeah, it's very nice to sort of the recording features Pete Drake, Billy Preston, Gary Wright, Klaus Borman, and Alan White, and we're back to the Phil Spector sound. So it's a big big heavy use of reverb and adding to the ethereal quality of the song. So it's basically the song I think outlines it's a guided tour of the house and gardens in song, which is great. Again, a kind of quite an eccentric theme to a song. One feels, but you know,
He's an Englishman. What do you expect?
yeah. Nothing less than a musical tour of my house. It's lovely, fantastic. So yeah, again, that kind of acoustic guitar led song with electric guitar figures over the top, bass drums and piano, and with Pete Drake playing that ethereal kind of pedal steel thing. That you know, it's the Bobby Whitlock whistle, isn't it?
Yep.
Kind of thing. I don't think necessarily for the song, but the spoken interlude, those low voices, kind of ghostly low voices as well. So that's really nice.
Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, it's great. You know, 8 out of 10 for me. Never a skip. Really good fun song, I think. You know, and as I say, you can have a contrast somewhere down the line, and we're on side 3, so you are going to get. I think on side 2 you're going to get more contrasting things. So you know, yeah, great, yeah. Brad.
Excellent. Well, for me, I mean, this song is known as "Let It Roll." That's what I've always called it, but I know it's called the Ballad of Sir Frankie Chris in brackets "Let It Roll." But for me, it's "Let It Roll," and I don't know why. Just that's what's always been for me. It's an interesting song. The pedal steel vibe, like as you alluded to, it's got that real, you know, ambient sort of acoustic thing going on. Very interesting feel. Brushes on the drums, I like that. I think that's a really nice touch. The bass moving around and the way the drums going, that's quite nice bass playing on that. Love the piano in this song and the organ colors, and vocally it's great. It's a wonderful vocal melody as well. There's a lot going on in this song. As you alluded to there, Simon, it's like a wall of sound. And to be honest with you, I had to listen to this song twice to rank it because I felt like maybe I missed something, and to give it a fair ranking. And I don't do that very often. So this song is pretty busy in its sound for me, but I ranked it a tiny bit lower than I did the second time round, and I'm going to go with the second ranking because I think it's fair. 8.5 out of 10. It's never a skip. Andrew.
Oh, guys, this might be a timeout. You know, the it could be a bit too much reverb for me. Could be. You know, I get it, and you know, I'm trying to justify why I'm going to give it a 5 to you guys, and yeah, it's the reverb is it drowns the song for me, and I don't like it. I never liked it. I tried to sort of be upbeat about it when I came to ranking the albums with you guys to put it into context. I think it's George Harrison, though. Simon, the rock professor. I think it's George Harrison trying to be a little bit funny too. I think, you know how the English guys, you know, yeah. I think there's something going on there with George and his intent with the song, and I'll be interested to see what you guys think about it. I think it's got there's a bit of sense of humor there. I do like the depth though of the pedal steel, and how that tries to counterbalance with the reverb, but it just doesn't quite work. And you know, I'm going to say it, guys. I'm sorry. You know, Klaus Vormann, he's not Carl Rattle, is he, on the bass? So, and I think for me that's probably where I'm getting my stub toe. I just can't put my sandals on and run with it, Brad. I've got 2 stub toes with the song, so I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10, bro.
Ooh. You can't time out now because I need at least someone on here with me, mate. So, you can time. Yeah.
But it's never a skip.
Okay, well that's fair. I understand your ranking there.
Yeah, me too. I think that, you know, that, I mean, it is clear that the sort of Spectre production is somewhat dividing, isn't it, of people? You know that. I've seen a lot of comments for the new version. Oh, you need more de-spectering and stuff, and so clearly I hadn't kind of figured it as being so divisive. Really, it's people more accepting of it. You know, it's just how it is. You know, that's how it is, and that's what you get, kind of thing. But I can see that, you know, that it's not, and it doesn't. It serves some songs better than others. You know, I think sometimes, you know, that you are right, Andrew, that it can all get a bit overpowering, can't it? Sometimes, you know, if you know, and actually, if you've got a comparatively simple song, you know, maybe a simpler approach is something, and a kind of, you know, Spectre. One could say that Phil Spector's production is slightly at odds with the kind of the vibe that we talked about being the band, you know, that kind of down homey kind of thing. So slightly odd sometimes, I think. So I think it's entirely fair that.
And hold that thought for the conclusion, because that's one of the great contradictions, dichotomies of this album that gives it the power. It doesn't know what it wants to be, and I love it. Does it want to be, you know, a big pink, or is it, you know?
No. But yes, sometimes I can see those things being slightly at odds. That's interesting. That's cool. You know, it's absolutely fine. You know, no one has to like any of these things. You know, I think, you know, it's all personal taste and preference. Yeah. You know, and if some songs don't grab you, they don't grab you. I think it's, you know, that's worth saying. To be honest, you know, it's So anyway, track 4, "Waiting on You All." It is amongst the more overtly religious compositions on All Things Must Pass. The recording typifies Phil Spector's influence on the album due to his little use of reverb and other wall of sound production techniques. Harrison recorded the track in London, backed by Clapton, Whitlock, Klaus Vormann, Jim Gordon, and Jim Price. Clearly, many of whom he toured with, Danny and Bonnie. In his lyrics to "Wait of You," Harrison espouses a direct relationship with God over adherence to the tenets of organised religion. I think that's one of Harrison's things, isn't it? That you know, not the organised religion, but his influenced by both his association with the Hare Krishna devotees and the Vedanta-inspired teachings of Swami Vivekananda. Harrison sings of chanting God's name as a means to cleanse and liberate oneself from the impurities of the material world, whilst acknowledging the validity of all faiths. In essence, his words explicitly criticised the Pope and the perceived materialism of the Catholic Church, a verse that EMI and Capitol Records continue to admit from the album's lyrics. Interestingly, yeah, it's true. He also questions the validity of John Lennon and Yoko Ono's 1969 campaign for world peace, reflecting a divergence of philosophies between Harrison and his former bandmates. Yes, I mean, in the opening verse, he says, "You don't need no loving, you don't need no bedpan," which clearly is a direct reference to John and Yoko's bed-ins. Yeah, I mean, as we said, full-on production from Spectre. Got pedal steel on it again. There's a lot of pedal steel on this record, isn't it?
Especially on this side of the record.
Yes, you're right. Yeah. That's what I meant. Yes, that's true, isn't it? I mentioned it, but that's everything on. It's on all the tracks so far, isn't it? I think. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. So, as we said, kind of that thing about chanting the name of the Lord and you'll be free, as kind of thing. And I don't know whether this is true, but while the Pope owns 51% of General Motors and the stock exchange is the only thing he's qualified to quote us. Nice rhyme. The Lord is waiting on you to awaken and see by chanting the name of the Lord, and you'll be free. So that's kind of the basic tenet of the song. Yeah. Again, I love this. I don't think this is. I never felt this is like sort of preachy, even though it's quite preachy. I never felt like I was being given a. To me, it's as much as anything else a kind of almost protest song. Anti-materialism protest song with some examples. So it's an 8 out of 10 for me. Never a skip, and enjoy it a lot. Brad.
That's a fair score. I mean, look, Waiting on You All. I think it's got a great little intro to the song. The vocals are great. There's some really good BVs, like going for that gospel sort of backing vocal thing throughout the song, which is really cool. It has nice feel on the drums. There's a lot going on in this song, and this side in particular, I felt like I needed to listen to this song and the last song a couple of times to give it a proper ranking. And the production thing is why I had to do that, and that's something that I'm not going to knock anyone, but I do agree there was just maybe too much going on, in particular sonically, and the balance of where things are sitting. Maybe if it was up to me, I would have probably mixed them different, but that's just how it is, I guess. So I gave the song a 7 out of 10. It's never a skip, but the first time I ranked it a lot lower. I'll say that, and then I gave it a fair chance and ranked it a tiny bit higher. So, Andrew.
Interesting song. Again, one of the great things about being a human being is that we contradict ourselves constantly, and and it's great, because we're all not perfect, including George Harrison, because 1 minute he's criticizing organized religion and talking about freedom of religion on one hand, and then on the other hand, like I said to you guys before, on his deathbed, if you guys look at the film that came out a few years ago, he's dying and he's questioning about investments in Switzerland so that they can not pay taxes, and the person talking about the story says, isn't that the complete irony of the guy, making sure that they're not paying taxes, yet, making sure that we don't carry sins with us so that we can go to Nirvana. Love it.
Wasn't that always the contradiction with George Harrison, though? That kind of, the earthly thing and then the spiritual things. And you sometimes always felt there was a abrasion between the two things, didn't you?
And Patty Boyd talks about it remarkably, during this time too, when, like he'd go up and he'd spend 4 hours meditating and then come down and then go out and have parties and, hang out with Apple Scruffs or for the whole weekend. So, but look,
something.
This is what I love about this song, because it's, it's about his struggle to try and find the truth. And I think that's the thing that we do as human beings. You know, we're not perfect, but so long as we're struggling, so long as we're trying to improve, trying to get better, when you give up the struggle, I think, well, that's when it's over. So, God bless George Harrison, and with this song. Look, it's not my favorite, guys. It's not my favorite. I'm going to give it a 6.5. It's not my favorite song. Again, and it could be sometimes a skip. It could be a skip sometimes, guys. Forgive me. Do I need to time out?
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm looking at my notes here, guys, and I'm making sure that I'm sticking to them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be persuaded by my co-hosts.
Good. There is why you should be.
Never change your rankings according to what the co-hosts are saying. Never.
No. God, it's because the whole point about this is that you tell the truth from your point of view as you see it, and how it works. But so absolutely, it should be that and nothing more, if that's what you feel about the song. So, yeah, good points, guys. Okay, track 5, All Things Must Pass. At last, practically side 4, we get to the title track. How often do we find that? So, All Things Must Pass. The subject matter deals with the transient nature of human existence. We're back to the kind of spiritual thing. So combining the words of music provide to reflect the impressions of optimism against fatalism. Apparently he wrote it sort of for the band, and he always imagined Lee Von Helm singing it. As a kind of a bit like The Weight or something like that. Which has kind of things, but he described it as a Robbie Robertson band type of tune. Said he always imagined it being sung by Lee Von Helm. And his starting point for the composition was Robbie Robertson's The Weight, a song that has a religious and a country feel. From his lyrics, he drew inspiration from a poem published in Timothy Leary's book Psychedelic Prayers after the Tao Te Ching. In his autobiography, he refers to the idea for the song originating from all kinds of mystics and ex-mystics, including Leary. Later, and like later compositions such as Here Comes the Sun, So Sad and Blown Away, the lyrical emotional content is based around metaphors involving the weather and the cycle of nature. Harrison states in the opening lines of the verse, sunrise doesn't last all morning, a cloudburst doesn't last all day. That's a beautiful line. And he based it on a translation of part of chapter 23 of the Tao Te Ching, if you want to, which says, all things pass, a sunrise does not last all morning, all things pass, a cloudburst does not last all day. So pretty much a lift from that. It's, for me, this is a fantastic song. This is a 20 out of 10. I think it's a beautiful song. I think it's got just flows along beautifully as a song. Fantastic melody. I love the kind of all things must pass away kind of that fatalism at the end of the choruses. I think it's beautifully got. Love the horn interlude on it as well. Just that kind of haunting horn melody that gets played. The chorus that goes up an octave on the pass. All things it goes up and down. That's quite hard to do, I must say. And again, the pedal steel, and the breakdown is like the start of The Weight at the end. It's sort of got that similar chords. 20 out of 10. Never escape from me. One of my favorite records. Beautiful song.
Yeah, we've been waiting a little while to get to this one. By the time we get to this song, you've kind of like forgotten the title of the album almost because it's been a while. But look, what can I say about this song any more than you already have, Simon? It's a beautiful song. The piano is very strong and leads the song, in my opinion, and that I believe that's Billy Preston on piano. Is that right? That was my research. I thought it was Billy Preston on piano. The slide playing, and it's very classy. It's just perfect for the song. The vocals are very relaxed, and that's one thing that's important to emphasize. He didn't try to oversing anything he was singing on, and this song was very relaxed, and it fits perfectly for the song. The backing vocals are very colorful, and they got a nice melody as well. Highlighting the pedal steel again, the cool brass section. The drums are very laid back. That's fitting for the song. They're not overplayed. They're just sitting there, just keeping the beat. Bass is moving along nicely, and overall, look, this should have been a Beatles song, in my opinion. I know that this was presented to the Beatles. Was it the Let It Be sessions that he presented this to them? I can't remember what with my research. It was definitely presented to the Beatles, and they overlooked it, and I think that was a massive mistake. It does have a Beatles sort of feel to it, but it's great that he made it a song within his his own sort of sound, stepping away from that Beatles thing. I agree with this, Simon. It's a masterpiece, and I gave it a 20 out of 10. Andrew?
I'm glad it's not a Beatles song, because they would have cocked it up, I'm sure. As much as we love the Beatles here and we celebrate the Beatles, I'm glad it's not. I'm glad the song is perfect, because if you look at the artists and the people that are involved on this, Jim Price, Bobby Keys, Ericclapton's on here, Billy Preston, Klaus Voormann. I think that's why the song works so well, and one of the reasons why it works so well is because Clapton got what they were trying to do on Big Pink. I don't think the other Beatles would have got it, and I think they would have taken this song somewhere else. This song makes me cry. I don't know what it is about the song. I just adore the song too, like my co-hosts. I love this song. And when I sat down and saw the video, if you guys haven't seen the video, Material World, the video starts off with this song and George Harrison's face. And I remember getting this DVD, and it was Christmas time, and I was by myself watching it, and I cried because it just evoked all this, power. And I don't often talk about how songs make me cry on this show, but there's something about this song. I think who said it, it could just about be the best song on the album. It's certainly in the top 2 for me. It's a Brad score. It's a masterpiece. It's 100 out of 10.
It has a melancholia about it at the center of it, doesn't it? That I think a lot of great songs do have just a sort of, and that sense of loss. That turns it into a sort of tremendously emotional and aching song. I completely agree with you about that, Andrew. I think it's that do you want to listen to it on your own. It's a thing, isn't it? Absolutely, yeah. And the power of it. I mean, that's the power of it, and the power of the best music, I think, has that capacity and stuff,
I think one thing that's important to, sort of highlight, since you brought up that you shed a tear over that, Andrew, is it's amazing how music can evoke emotions that you're not aware of. And that's the one thing with George's music. He was always about awareness, and maybe that's a beautiful thing because it evoked some emotion you were unaware of, Andrew. So that's, George's job's done. That's what he wanted. He wanted people to, discover certain elements of themselves and that they're not, like emotions they're not aware of. But that's amazing. The beautiful thing about music in general is you can, you can relate to certain things in your own way, and it can evoke those emotions, and it can actually be a healing for whatever sort of pain or things, suffering or whatever it is you might be holding inside. It's a good release sometimes. It's a wonderful thing. So thanks for sharing that, Andrew. But I'm not sort of trying to highlight that too much to make you sound like a crybaby or anything like that, mate. But yeah, that's what that's what good music should do, in my opinion. And yeah, George did it amazingly.
Yeah, and it's for me absolutely. I miss it so much from modern music. I think that kind of emotion and that kind of ability.
I had a similar experience, not trying to deviate too much, but listening to Jeff Buckley just recently.
Oh, yeah.
So similar experience to that. I just for no reason just started crying. So it can evoke emotion.
Yeah. And also, similarly, Jason Isbell. You know Jason Isbell? I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
What's that song he did? Vampire song about a vampire. That's a brilliant song. That is a brilliant song. If you haven't heard that, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it is a brilliant song. And I only heard it the other day. I just heard, it's like, Christ, that's a bloody good song. I'm astonished by it really, because I'm familiar with a bit with him from Drive-By Truckers. He was in Drive-By Truckers for a bit, but so check that out if you haven't.
Yeah, well, definitely.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, he's got a fantastic turn. He's got a fantastic turn of phrases in it as well. But that are just beautiful. So anyway, and there we are on side 4. Turning up on side 4. It's been a journey. So side 4 starts with "I Dig Love," which is a paean to free love. It marks a departure from the more profound spiritual orientated subject matter for much of the album into slightly more earthly things. The recording features 2 drummers, 3 keyboard players, typical Spectre stuff, throwing the kitchen sink at it. and it's got that kind of, it starts off with the bass and piano playing a run of notes that falls and goes back up again. It's really nice, it's really good, really strong kind of melody, and quite impressionistic drums. Basically, I thought the verse was kind of very 12-bar bluesish. Almost the first appearance of any kind of blues influence in it. I hadn't really noticed any before that, in that way. That there seemed to be more, the verse with electric piano and organ, and that would, It's, I think this is much for me a slighter song, so only a 7.5 out of 10 from me. But I don't skip it. I think it's it's good. Yeah.
I dig love. I dig this song. See what I did there? This song's got a very intentionally lazy feel to it, and I love how they've done this. And Beatles songs, there's something in this song that reminds me of another Beatles song, and I couldn't pick what it was. Maybe someone in the chat might be able to allude me to it, but
Lady Madonna,
possibly. There's a couple of songs I'm thinking of. The 12-bar blue bit, that especially that bit. I was thinking more of something off Let It Be, and I can't pick the song, but
okay.
Yeah, there was something in there that just went, wow, man, that's. And I mean, George was in the Beatles, so it's going to come out somewhere along the way, isn't it? But what I'm saying is, I love how, like, say, for example, on the White Album, they did, I'm So Tired, like John's song, and it had that intentionally sort of lazy feel to it, and like they couldn't be bothered. And on this song, it has that same sort of fitting feel. His vocal on it's really perfect for the song. Catchy melody, nice little slide solo. We could go on for days about all the musos that are on this. All the musicianship on this is perfect. The way they're playing for the song is perfect. I love that little shuffle feel. Look, I gave it an 8 out of 10. It's never a skip for me. I like how it comes in this side of the album with this song. I really think it's great. Andrew?
I reckon this song was hatched through a jam session, and I just can't escape that thought, because when you think of the start, I dig, din, 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 din. It's like the piano and the guitars are trying to find something, din, din, din. When you're having a jam rock professor, and you're going din, 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 din. You're just trying to, and I think I think they just liked that. I think George just liked that, and he thought, okay, we're going to stick Dan, and built it from that. That's so. Look, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 because I think that's where they dug this from. There, I don't think there was any serious perspective behind the song other than it was just a jam. And I did a little bit of research. So they're hanging out with Delaney and Bonnie. So, what were they doing? Harrison talks about it. That's when they went on that Scandinavian tour. Clapton said it, they were sitting in the back of the bus, playing acoustic guitars, smoking joints and drinking whiskey. He loved it. And that's, and so that's where I think this song kind of grew. So 9 out of 10.
Beautiful.
Yeah, cool. Excellent. Yes. And, so song 2 on this side is Morning John. ZD, how you doing? Hope you're good. Nice of you to join. Yeah. No worries, John. We all got busy lives, man.
He's just squeezed us in, because he's got people to see and things to do, so.
Deals to do. Nice one,
busy
guy. That's fine. We all got that. Busy lives is busy lives.
Yeah. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, good to see you, man. So track 2 is The Art of Dying. So Harrison began writing the song in '66, clearly, during the period when he first became enamored with the Hindu-aligned spirituality. The subject matter is reincarnation and the need to avoid rebirth by limiting actions and thoughts that lead to one's soul returning another earthbound life form. He was recorded it in April 1970, co-produced by Phil Spector. It's quite a rock song, this, featuring Eric and the rest of the Derek and the Dominoes. Sorry. It's Bobby Whitlock says it was awesome that we were doing The Art of Dying. Eric was on the wah-wah, and it was all cooking. Derek and the Dominoes with George Harrison. The sessions led to the formation now for Derek and the Dominoes, as we know. The released version is in the hard rock style. The track begins with Ericclapton's fire-cracking lead guitar, and propelled by Jim Gordon's drumming and Carl Radle's urgent bass. I understand Bobby Whitlock calls him Carl Radle. So I'm going with Carl Radle as my pronunciation. Although before that I would have done Radle. I don't know whether that's true. My favourite story about this, I'm sure you know, I've alluded to this before, was that Phil Collins was going to play congas on it, but his hands was too blistered, so he wasn't able to hit the congas with any force. So the congas are left out of the final mix. But apparently Collins attended. He said this he talked to Harrison about this, who thought it'd be a great idea to play a practical joke on him. So he sent him a tape saying, here's your conga playing from The Art of Dying, and Colin said he listened to it. It was awful, and he said, and then he only found out Harrison said him actually he got Ray Cooper to come into the studio, deliberately pay really badly, and then pretending that it was his record and sent it to him. Which is a tremendous example of Harrison's humour. It's just wonderful, isn't it? It's just really great. Ray, come over. We're going to play a joke on Phil Collins.
Poor filthy Collins.
Poor Phil Collins. I don't know. I think that's probably a typical piece of Harrison humour, don't you? You know, get somebody in to play it in the studio, and getting Ray Cooper to play really badly, getting not just anybody to play it, not doing it himself. No, getting Ray Cooper to come and play it. The arts percussionist is fantastic. So hats off to him for that. It's a great song. As we said, this is quite sort of quite rock. This song. This is kind of probably the rockiest song on the album. Certainly the official 4 sides that we're doing. Some of the other jams are quite heavy, but again back to that spirituality thing that I've said is the theme of the album. Great wah-wah introduction from Clapton, and that kind of fast, kind of almost disco drums as well that I noticed. And 9 out of 10 from me. Never a skip. I really like this song. I think it's got plenty to say, and I really like it. Yes, I do really like it. When it comes out, it's like, I think it's a combination of great riffing, and I really like the lyrics as well. I think the lyrics have something to say. So it's a 9 out of 10 from me. Surprised by a 9 out of 10 from me for this.
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to sort of basically say it. I think Andrew's going to probably say the same thing as me. And I'm glad I'm going in before him, because that wah pedal is quite awesome. And that's, I'll never knock a.
I thought you were going to say quite awful then.
No. And Clapton obviously is one of the greats with the wah pedal. So, he knows how to use it properly. I love that little kick drum intro with that wah guitar. It's such a great guitar tone as well. It's very roomy. I like that roomy guitar tone. It's beautiful. Then the drums come in and it's like full on. The bass is extremely dominant in this song. It's a great feel, especially on the drums. Another great example of, George Harrison's vocal dubbing and harmonizing. Some great drumming, like I said. The musicianship on this is all class. The breakdown middle section solos is great. The brass section is very colorful as well. Look, I gave this a 9.5 out of 10, and never a skip. Andrew?
I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I just love that that rock sound, that tone that comes in. Carl Rattle and Jim Gordon just bang it through. It's just fantastic. It's a home goal, Simon. It's a home goal. Can't believe that you guys haven't given it a 10. Can't believe it. Jeepers.
I'll go with 9.5. That's pretty good.
I'll give it a 9. Oh, okay, 10. 9.
No, it's Brad, dig yourself out of that 9.5 then. Come on then.
All right, 10.
Okay.
I'll give it 10. Only because you told me to.
All right.
Okay, you've talked us into it. 10.
You have to twist my arm, Andrew. You twisted my arm. On my back.
Look, it's a great song, isn't it? Isn't it great when you listen to this? This is one of the great things about this album. You listen to this song and then you go and listen to Layla and other assorted love songs, and then you get it. You get it.
Yeah.
You get Have I Ever Loved a Woman? You get Bell Bottom Blues. You get because. And that's why I love this song. And when I discovered that connection, it was like an epiphany for me. It was like I discovered the secret key to rock and roll for a little while,
Andrew discovered the secret sauce.
Yeah, the secret sauce. Look, and because of that, I'm going to give it a 10. I think the relationship to other things, and I was going to swear, shivers, guys. That's what we like. That's what we like doing on this show. Is we like to try and make some connections, even if it's only in my own mind. Only if it's something that I think about. But yeah, look, I think it's fantastic. I love it. I love it, Simon.
It's brilliant, isn't it, that there are such songs so late in a four-sided album, there are still such strong songs that that we're really digging and and enjoying and giving them such high scores because we think they're really good. I mean it's the mark of it being it should have been a double album or triple, because because you're still in the depths of it, you're still getting really quality songs, really, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So track 3, we've got a reprise for the first time. Isn't it a pity? Version 2. And clearly we've already talked about version Isn't It a Pity? It's
Yep.
I can't remember where it is on side 1 or 2, I think, isn't it? Fourth track, so it's on side 1. So side 1. So this is the slower slower version and shorter version than the 7-minute epic of the epic showpiece of side 1. But also kind of the comment here is more in keeping with the Beatles' earlier attempts at the track rather than the later one. According to Wilfred Mellors, the musicologist and critic, it blends the 3 song types embraced by Harrison as a solo artist. So love song, rock song, and the hymn. And he views it as a key song on Harrison's post-Beatles debut solo album, which I would agree with. I think if you're doing it twice, it's so this is it's about the song's themes are about spiritual salvation and friendship, and they're consistent with the calmer subject matters of the album. Harrison explained in his autobiography, it's about whenever a relationship hits a down point, there's a chance to realise that if I felt somebody had let me down, then there's a good chance I was letting somebody else down. His lyrics adopt a non-judgmental tone throughout, which I think is interesting. It's kind of considering what we talked about, the duality of Mr. Harrison. It's and all the stuff with Pattie Boyd and Eric Clapton and things. You kind of understand why there was that acceptance of him about Pattie and Eric and things, and how it didn't, it could so easily have broken their relationship, didn't it? But clearly it didn't. I would have said that the key to that is probably here in this song, isn't it? There's a it's the key why Harrison didn't think that necessarily, which is really cool. So kind of strummed guitars, bass, pianos, and drums again. Again that acoustic guitar and piano kind of led thing. I think this is a lovely version of the song. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, and I would never skip it. And I think it's a worthy second version of it in a way that is really different to the first version. And
Yep.
But kind of brings out the themes a bit more than the other version, more overtly. So 9 out of 10, never a skip from me.
Well, there's not a lot I can sort of touch on more than you've already said, Simon. But I mean, if it wasn't a strong enough, statement the first time round, the second time really makes it, I think. So it's, I guess he really wanted to put a reprise on there, like you wanted to put this on there because, I mean, maybe there was a hidden message there to put it on there twice. Who knows? I mean, I'm just putting it out there. Maybe you want to put it on twice because the Beatles will not put it on anything. So not sort of having a knock at the Beatles either, but a lovely version of the song. Some really heartfelt guitar playing. The piano is very colourful. The musicianship on this song is wonderful, and it's such a beautiful song. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. It's never a skip for me, and I like this version of it. I always sort of lent on the first version, but this one I really kind of think at the moment for me, I'm liking this one better than the first one. Andrew.
Yeah, look, I think we've been emailing each other some kind of notes or something, especially on this song, because I'm going to agree with you. There's something going on. Look, I can toss up this song and the other version. I think we said last week, didn't we, guys, that we gave this version of the song, masterpiece status. And look, I love this song. I just did a bit of research. I read a guitar player magazine that came out a couple of weeks ago, and I was trying to look for it because I'm just so all over the place and haven't done good prep for this show, but I'm going to rely on my memory. So apparently George wrote this song back in '66. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think he wrote it pretty early, like I think it was around the White Album era, around there somewhere.
Okay, so for a lot, so when he talks about, just hold on, guys, because let me just get my notes up here. Hold on, gentlemen, hold on. So isn't it a pity, isn't it a shame how we break each other's hearts and cause each other pain? How we take each other's love without thinking anymore, forgetting to give back. Now, isn't it a pity? So for years, I thought that was a direct conversation he was having with the Beatles, Simon and Brad. You know, I was under the impression this was a song written straight after the Beatles, and this was a conversation he was having backwards. But when I read this in the article, and this is one of the great things about this show that we do, guys, is that when we go and do a bit of research, we come across something and it's like, holy shit, I didn't realize that. So if he wrote this in '66, it's probably not about the other Beatles. It's probably about him being a commentator on something else that's happening, maybe world politics, what's happening, you know. I don't know, Simon. I don't know, Brad. I'm just throwing it out there. But I don't think this song is necessarily, when he wrote it, a conversation with the band. I think when he recorded it, definitely it was probably, you know,
it
became
that.
Yeah. That's it. It became a banner. But yeah, look, I'm going to give the song a 10 out of 10 too. Have to.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew, that's a really valid point. I might research that later and try and find out. But for some reason, I think it was written around that White Album period, and they were having trouble there, though, Andrew, around the White Album.
66.
Yeah.
66 was Rubber Soul, bro.
Was it? Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, it could be. I mean, George was always suppressed in the Beatles, so maybe he was.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a little statement, you know, and as it.
Oh, but they were honky dory back then, bro. They were honky dory.
I guess he was in a very sort of growth and development stage of being a musician at that point in his life too. So
maybe he was 90% honky dory, while the rest were 100%.
Look, it could be directly at them, but I think it turned into a song directly at them.
Yeah.
Like a secret little message to them.
Beyond. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I can't.
Thanks, Johnny.
Just having a look, Andrew, to see if we could. Have a good sleep, Johnny. Thanks for joining, mate. Good to see you.
Thank you all for joining us, everyone, while Simon's digging that out. And yeah, you guys are cool. Thanks for subbing to our channel. We're 700 subscribers, if you guys weren't aware of that. And I'm sure it's because of everybody in the chat's hard work and getting our channel out there. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yes, our growth comes from you guys. It's all organic, you know, so it's great.
Okay. Yes, it looks like he hoped to record, isn't it a pity, for the band's '68 double album, The Beatles, also known as the White Album. Okay. So probably did record it a bit. Yeah, it could be '66. Andrew, could be. Clearly, he already had it lined up in that point. But yeah, so it's a bit earlier than. Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, that as I said, you know, that you know, you record a song and there's one particular thing about it, and then you know, other things happen, and then it takes on a meaning that it maybe didn't have intentionally when you wrote it. You know, I think it's
great.
You know, Yeah. You know, you
Or,
often
even
find that,
better,
don't
us as fans, when we hear something and we think that we know why they wrote it, and we think that yeah. Like Simon,
you?
you know, when he was listening to Pink Floyd on the parapet, he knew why Dark Side of the Moon was written. But then he went and realized, oh, it wasn't those reasons
It
why.
wasn't those reasons at all. Or it was those reasons as well. Because my interpretation less valid because it's not Pink Floyd's interpretation. Just saying. But nevertheless, you know, a fantastic song and you know, worthy of a second inclusion. I think you know on this record.
Yeah.
It's a great song, isn't it? Pretty. So last song on side 4. Hopefully this is the last one we're doing according to you guys as well. It's clearly we're not doing the jams and the other stuff as well, because there's a lot more stuff that you can investigate and have a look at. We're just sticking with the official album. So the last song on the album on side 4 is "Hear Me Lord." So this is a gospel rock musical style song, and the lyrics take the form of a personal prayer in which Harrison seeks help and forgiveness from his deity. Along with "My Sweet Lord," it's amongst the most overtly religious selections on All Things Must Pass. Recording was co-produced by Phil Spector and features Eric Clapton, Gary Wright, Billy Preston, Bobby Whitlock, and other musicians with Delian and Bonnie Friends Band. He wrote it over the weekend of the 4th and 5th of January '69, soon after the Beatles had begun rehearsals for the proposed television special at Twickenham Film Studios. With the band members in disagreement about the nature of the project and whether to return to live performance, this period is one of discord within the group. For Harrison, it contrasted sharply with the 2 months he'd spent in the States at the end of '68, where he enjoyed collaborating with the musicians such as Jackie Lomax, members of the Los Angeles Wrecking Crew, Tiny Tim, Bob Dylan and the band. In addition, his wife Patty Boyd had temporarily left him that same weekend after discovering that Harrison was having an affair with a French woman they'd invited to stay in her home. Harrison, the arch trumpeter, weaving his magic.
Voulez-vous?
Exactly. Although the song is recognised as a deeply personal statement, "Hear Me Lord" is one of the compositions that Harrison does not mention in his biography, but it's basically, you know, just self-revelation evidence in its lyrics, and it's kind of, you know, the thing then, certainly his thing, Harrison's thing, and you know, Simon Lang, the Harrison biographer, identifies 3 anchors in the songs: the phrase "forgive me," "help me," and "hear me," as the 3 anchor phrases in the thing. And the pleas for forgiveness, acknowledgement of weaknesses, and promise of self-improvement. Harrison's words have been described as offering a similar statement to the Christian Lord's Prayer. As we said, "Help me, Lord, please, to burn out this desire." Probably writing it to Patty as well. Really, it was just a thing. But, so, you know, going back to that kind of gospel thing, Huntley said, another writer, Huntley says that given this song, given the gospel treatment by Spector, and recognises Harrison as the first man to combine gospel and rock without it sounding ludicrous. I'm not sure that's entirely true, but it's an interesting point about being able to do that. It's got the drums, it's got the piano, it's got solo guitar, it's got those really nice, you know, big backing vocals, lots of backing vocals on this track, and the kind of gospel injections above and below us, you know, that big kind of gospel, you know, in the words in between him singing. 9 out of 10 for me, never a skip. I really like it as a closer. I think it's It's great. Brad.
Gentlemen, I'm not sure if we've skipped a song.
Have we what? What have I skipped?
Isn't it a pity?
We've just been discussing that.
Oh, we've done that. We did that.
Oh, we
Yeah.
Isn't it a pity I'm not on the ball?
No, we know the reason why, because Brad's been doing some things lately, and it's all been legal.
Yeah. I was actually just trying to research while you guys are talking more on that when Harrison wrote that song. So that's all right. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That's all right.
Yeah, I've done that too. I've done that.
Yeah.
I've got notes here. I got notes here, and I go.
Yeah,
I got lost.
I've got two separate pages of notes here in front of me as well, so that's kind of throwing me a bit. But that's all right. My apologies, gentlemen. I'm a human. I make mistakes. You know, I'm not.
And we're here to guide you back to the path of righteousness.
Yeah, well, you know, I don't want to. You know.
I'm going to put that in the subtitle for the show. Brad admits he's human and makes mistakes.
Do it. You know what? If it sells, then throw it out there, mate. You know.
Yeah. We got it.
I haven't noticed any mistakes so far. So,
so that's why I like you so much, Simon. You just overlook my mistakes.
It's not a mistake. It's not a mistake. You know? It's merely the interweaving. You know, we're here to make sure that we all stay on the road to the light.
Not me.
Yes, Mr. Blame It All on Brad Walton. Yes.
Hey, Adam. We're giving your mate a bit of shit here, Adam.
Adam gives me shit anyway. Don't worry.
Well, that's good.
Wait a minute. You're giving him to Mr. Potty, man. So he starts with, you're giving him crap, and not me. I'm being nice to him. That I'd just like to point out.
Yeah. All right. Listen, I'm going to get into my song ranking, and then I'm going to hide. Okay, I'm just going to go hide my hole in the hole over here.
We'll cut that bit out, Brad. No one will ever know.
Yeah. Perfect.
How much did you pay Adam to put that comment in the chat, man? He's not human. He's a machine. That's got to be a $50 comment, that one.
$50.
I'll pay you later, mate. I'll pay you later, Adam.
That's a $50 if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, I'll pay you later, Adam. No worries. Oh, goodness. Yes, so my friend Adam's just got himself a new Telecaster throwing things off.
Yes.
I shared it in my story.
Yeah.
So I'm lockdowns and all that crap. We can't sort of get together. But I'm very distracted because it's got the binding around the body. It's beautiful.
Oh,
beautiful. So anyway, go and check out Adam Croft's Instagram page, and you'll get a good look at that. All right, so I'm gonna hit this, and then I'm gonna hide my head in the sand over here for 20 minutes. Look, it's all class, this song, the intro, great drumming, great guitar playing. George Harrison and ericclapton work so well together. There's some marvelous vocals in it, catchy melody, the piano on the song's lovely. Obviously the bass and the drums, the organ's moving around. There's a real gospel feel with the organ. I gave the song a 9 out of 10. It's never a skip for me. Andrew.
There's two things about the song that I like, and I'm not going to get preachy, but I have to talk about them. The song's singing about the 4 human virtues, which aren't necessarily religious virtues. So the 4 human virtues are something that every human being should strive to, apply in your life. And that's what I like about it. So from that perspective, because he's got overtly other religious songs, Simon and Brad, hasn't he, in this song? So I like the fact that he's talking about, for me, patience and justice. I picked that up from this song. But besides all this metaphysical stuff, just go and listen to the slide, and then you've got Clapton playing underneath the slide, and it's got this natural overdrive. You can hear the speakers breaking up, guys. It's just he must be playing a little champ or something. You know, he's playing something small, because the overdrive, it's just remarkable, and you can hear it just underneath the song. And go and check out the 2021 edits. It's even better. It's great. I just so I'm going to give this a Brad score only because of that. That's it. Clapton's guitar playing, love it. 20 out of 10.
Yeah, so I did have a note here about the way they interplay with, between each other, and it is remarkable how close they sound, like how much alike they sound. It's just crazy. I'll show you guys, just while you've highlighted that comment on the bottom there, Andrew. I'll show you the guitar, because we love guitars on the channel, so I'm not deviating too much, because George Harrison probably would have used this thing. So if you want to highlight me.
Yeah, hold on. Go and find Brad on Instagram and find Adam, because he's on there. Yeah, I saw that a couple of days ago, Adam. I went, holy cow. And a few other things, but I didn't post them. I just said it.
I don't think the lighting has done justice to the color either. I'm sure it looks amazing.
Yeah.
There you
fantastic. Go. Yeah, beautiful.
So the binding around the body.
We love
Congratulations, Adam. That's really nice.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got a bit of gear envy at the moment.
Bit of a hot case too.
Well done.
There's always something to buy, isn't there?
Biggest distraction in the world, guitars, for me.
Yeah.
So, guys, what do we think about this record? Let's do a little close on this record. We're not doing the jams?
No, I didn't include the jams. I thought we'd just stick to the the four sides of official songs, and not go into that. Well, we can if you like, but it'd be yet another show at least. Yeah. I don't know. If people are interested, then go and investigate them. And there's lots of interesting stuff on here. But
I was just going to highlight. There's some,
Go on.
For people that are interested, they should go and have a listen to some of the musicianship. That's all. It's just there's some remarkable stuff going on. Especially in, what song was it? Plug Me In. Anyway, go and have a listen, guys. There's some amazing there's some amazing stuff going on there. But for me, I mean, this record is a mandatory for anyone in their record collection. It's sort of like you've got to have this in your record collection. This is the sort of thing I'm going to buy on vinyl when I eventually get my vinyl player, because it's something that everyone should have in their collection. It's a beautiful album, beautiful songs, and like I said at the very, very start of the first show, it just definitely defines him as a powerhouse in his own right, as a songwriter, as a musician, as a recording artist. I mean, a lot of the overdubs were done by George. It's just remarkable. So well done.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's for me, it is the best Beatles solo album by it's better than anything that Lennon or McCartney have produced on their own.
Yeah,
and certainly, I think it is a fantastic song. I think it has that kind of spiritual theme running through it. Makes it really interesting. I don't think it's preachy. I think I think it's much of it sounds amazing. And almost kind of for that time period, sounds immensely rich sounding. Lots of if you've got all those musicians and strings and the Spectre stuff going, you throw in the kitchen sink of it, sink at it as an album, and yet it maintains its quality over the certainly over the 4 sides that we've spoken about, if you took that as the core album, it maintains its quality throughout that. There's no duff songs, I don't think, particularly. And I think that, as I say, it maintains its quality to the end. If you're turning up on All Things Must Pass on the side 4, you're doing all right, aren't you? As an album. So for me, it's one of those albums that you should certainly, if you haven't listened to it, it's a mandatory listen, because I think it's one of the really important albums from that period.
Andrew,
there's a couple of things about this album that I find remarkable. I mentioned it earlier. It doesn't know what it wants to be, and it comes through in the songs. And I would love to have been a young cat when this album was dropped and listened to it back then to kind of get the community vibe of what the album was. It certainly went on to become a masterpiece. Simon already said it's the best album that the Beatles have ever done. But when I was listening to it, and doing preparation for the show, guys, then you've got the Big Pink project over here, and then you've got Full Spectre over here, and and they're trying to incorporate two completely different agendas, and I think that's what gives this album, I think, that power, which is remarkable in itself. Number 2, it's the best post-Beatles album ever. I'm glad that we agree on that. But I've got a bad taste in my mouth, and it's got nothing to do with the album. It's got nothing, the album that we've measured and rated and deep dived on. But I've got to do this as a co-host here. We talk about Bobby Whitlock, and we've made reference to his channel many, many, many times as an authority on these albums and the Layla album. And again, he's dropped a video a couple of days ago, him and Coco, and they're talking about, in a sort of disguised kind of way, that all the videos that they've taken down on their channel, being critical of this release, of the 2021 release, which is really, really disappointing, because we're all fans here. So I don't have an agenda. I'm not paid by any record companies. As far as I know, Brad isn't yet. And I don't think the Rock Professor is. So we're just hanging out, giving our opinion. So it's a bit disappointing, guys, that somehow, and I don't know how, if you read between the lines, Coco is coming out or releasing an album soon, and the finishing touches. So I suspect it might have had something to do with how she was going to drop her album. Go to Bobby Whitlock's channel and watch it, and then we can talk about it next week, because I don't want to put any ideas in anyone's mind, but it kind of gives what this could have been, guys, a great celebration, a great, just between you and I and everyone else watching it, just a bad taste in my mouth.
I did watch that, Andrew, and yeah.
So did I, yeah.
Kind of feel the same way, but to me, it's
those things are very difficult, aren't they?
It's a body of work that George did, as a first release post Beatle, and he's not around to oversee the project. So, I just want to remember it for the album that George released, not the remastered ones, even though I want to hear the remastered ones.
But this could have been so much better.
Yeah,
this is
what
pisses me off. If they'd included Bobby Whitlock and in this, we could have put this to bed. Sorry for saying the P word. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not having a crack at you either, but I'm just.
No, it's interesting that it's very difficult if you're doing these things, isn't it? 50 years later, who do you include, who do you not include, who do you, who are you taking as an authority, who are you not, and things like that, And
Who's alive for a starter?
well, good point. Who's alive? Because half the people are not alive, and it's very difficult, and I
Clapton
know from
wasn't
my
even
own.
consulted.
No, because I mean, you've got to say to yourself, haven't you? I mean, at some point, somebody, in any of those things, you're doing any of this stuff. If you start having a committee, yeah, you start having a dozen people around a table. I know a lot about this. What you get is you get a camel. The old joke.
I'm not going to let you get away with that, Simon. We're not talking about a committee here. We're talking about two important.
No, I didn't. No, I'm just trying to,
Clapton and
figure it.
Bobby Whitlock, who were the backing band.
No, yeah, but okay, they're the backing band, but it's Harrison's vision. He spent the time doing the work on it. He spent the time doing the overdubs. Quite often on his own kind of thing, working up or doing all those things himself. He wrote all the songs. He did all the things. So it is very much, his vision. So he brought Phil Spector in. As that, Phil Spector is dead clearly. And so you can't go and ask Phil. You can't undo much of what Phil's done. So your opportunities for, rejigging the whole thing, I think, were probably more limited than possibly we think in many ways. I think that for me, the 2021 remixes, they're really good. They give a bit of extra bottom and extra bass. I think they kind of retuned it subtly for today's sound, yeah, by having a bit more bass and a bit more low bottom end in it. And I think, that they did what they could do. And I think probably it was a lot more limited to what they actually could do than strip down all the tracks, take off all the stuff. They're not in a position to do that, especially if you've recorded stuff live. Sometimes, as a band, and it's all got mixed down.
I'm not being critical of that. I'm being critical of
the
information.
It's an interesting, point.
Yeah, that's a whole different ball game. But asking somebody who's been talking about this album for the last 2 years on his YouTube channel, who's very vivid, clearly, I think they missed a golden opportunity there, and of correcting some of the stories, because the information that's included in the booklets and in the it's not correct. And Brad said it many
and that's
times.
Unforgivable, for sure.
And Brad said it. The CD or the record's more than just the bloody music. It's about all this too. It's the fold out stuff. Yeah. So,
no, I agree with you about the if the information is not correct, then that's shoddy workmanship kind of thing. That's and I agree with you about it, and I don't think that's that then they should have been. I'm not saying you shouldn't have been consulted, but it's how and where and stuff. And I understand that that these things are really difficult.
And take your videos down. Take your videos down, guys. If you want to sell some records.
That's on a bit.
I'm not saying that. I'm just taking a line out of a movie that I saw. Yeah.
I mean, there's a certain intimation from them that that my learned friends have been involved in.
If you guys are going to go and check that video out, Bobby Whitlock's channel, say that the British Electric Blues and 5150 show sent you guys there.
Yeah.
Do a shout out for us on Bobby Whitlock's channel for us, guys. If you're going, please, we'd love that if you can do that for us. Cut our link and put it in the thing and say these guys are sticking up for you. Well, one guy
sticking up for you.
I know my co-host. Come on.
We agree with you, Andrew.
Yeah, I know. I know. I know you do.
Oh, clearly. I don't disagree. I'm just trying to work out the machinations of these things as a reality, not to, it's
going to come out something. It's like a lot of things, guys, isn't it? And we'll touch on this subject more and more as information comes to light, because we love talking about this kind of stuff. So, masterpiece of an album, Simon and Brad. It's a masterpiece. It rocked my socks. I've got a couple of stub toes listening to some of the tracks on the album, but that's okay. But in the context, it's as Brad said, it's if you're a Beatles fan, that's one record every Beatles fan's got to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get rid of your plastic Ono record. Get this one.
No. have it as well.
Okay. All right. Okay. You know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yep.
No, completely. So yeah, and thanks for that, because it's been great to delve into it as a go back to it, listen to it again, fresh ears.
Appreciate the hard work that my co-hosts have given. Simon, your introductions to each song has been, as usual, at a high caliber, high level. I know that you don't like taking a lot of praise, but it's important for us to give that recognition, the hard work that you guys do. Brad, your in-depth knowledge, the musical connections that you make, fantastic. Sometimes I sit here in awe and think, holy shit, holy cow. Appreciate it. You guys are fantastic.
And likewise, Andrew, your evaluations are brilliant, and they always, you always highlight something that we've always overlooked. So yeah, same thing.
We're a team, brother. We're a team. We're the best. Rankin the Tracks.
Yeah.
And that's the point. We are a team.
That's really Rankin the Track. Yeah. I didn't say that. I'm just being silly. But yeah, thank you guys. It's a pleasure. The 5150 show, which is also a home to this show that we do with the Rev. We're going to be on next Saturday. I can't tell you guys, but you guys have to be subscribed to the channel if you like all things Van Halen. We're one of the channels that talks about Van Halen. We talk about Van Halen when we do the Van Halen 5150 show on this channel. So we've got a special guest coming up. Check out Brad's Instagram, because he's going to drop it. He'll drop it first, who we're going to do, and then probably the Rev. I think the Rev's going to drop it too. So check out the Rev's Instagram channel on who we're going to do. It's 24 hours before we go live. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be good.
Yeah. It's going to be
I know what it is.
You don't want to miss it.
Because you see John ZD's comment. Oh no, or oh no. Beautiful, that's fair eyes. I love a good pun. That's a good pun. Marvellous. Oh dear. Yeah. Shall I say thanks to everyone in the chat?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So to go way back to the beginning, we've got Arvin, Teresa. Thanks, Jimmy Ray Hawkins, Helen Winter. Thanks for dropping by, guys. Ellen as well. Thanks, Ellen. Ever present. Thank you for your support. It's been great. Hobo Roadie. Crappy Luxury. Great name. Sonia, of course, Sonia. Hope you're good, Sonia. Deja Voodoo. We've had Hugh Caldwell. Thanks, Hugh. Johnny Heartbreaker. Thanks, Johnny. He's getting some well-earned shut-eye. Cool Music Tech as well. Thanks, Cool Music Tech, for joining. God, I don't want to miss anybody. That'd be bad. Of course, John, ZD351. Thanks, John. Great comments as always. Funny. Adam Croft as well. Adam, nice Telecaster. Enjoy. That's a fantastic guitar. So, who turned up at the end? Somebody turned up at the end. So, yeah, I think Johnny Bean. Johnny Bean Ray. Post Grand GTA playing on that. Johnny, clearly. So, thanks all for joining. Hope you enjoyed it, and take care. Hope you have a good week, all safe week, and
thanks for joining us, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. and we'll see you next Sunday for another Ranking the Tracks.
Do we do a shout out for Wazza? We did, didn't we, at the beginning of the show?
Yeah.
You did shout out
Hey,
for Warren.
do another-
We'll do another one. Take
Do
care, Warren.
Another one.
See you soon, mate.
Yeah. All the best,
All
Warren.
done all right. Yeah. Cool. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Take care all. Bye.